How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Crossways. Myself, Ian Wright, and the wonderful, delectable Steph Horton.
Oh, you are too kind.
Thank you, Steph. I was really practicing.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm good. Obviously, last night seeing the girls get through that one was really nice. But in the main, I've been pretty good. Last couple of weeks I've been quite good. And yesterday's game was an enjoyable game to watch. I watched both of them. Also, I watched the United game earlier on, but we'll talk about that. But it was an enjoyable game to watch.
Yeah, I think two teams that, when you're thinking, how do they both approach it? And I think as soon as I seen that Renee had selected Olivia Smith and Ford, I was like, this is just to try and counteract, and they're going to try and transition. But also, Chelsea went for it. And I think that's the best thing that they could have done, really.
Chelsea had to. 2 goals down. And I thought that they still didn't play as well as I thought they could have played and should have played for a team of their stature and calibre. I thought they would have started strong at Arsenal and really put a lot of pressure on. But I thought that Arsenal, especially Lot, are playing brilliantly at the back there as well. Daphne obviously making great saves. But I just think Arsenal look like they go to Chelsea now. We can beat you. They've got that energy about them, and that's how that game looked. We didn't look out of control at any stage. There was at latter stages of the game when they really went for it, Chelsea, where they scored the goal, but we scored a goal during that time as well, where I thought that, Chelsea going to get us. I always felt quite comfortable in the tie.
Yeah, I think, it was interesting because obviously after the game we spoke to Kim Little and we were just like, I felt like it was a really mature performance from Arsenal. And I think that it comes with experience of winning the Champions League last year, that sometimes you're going to go to places like Stamford Bridge and have to grind out a result. And of course you want to score. You guys had chances to score, but ultimately it's about just getting into the semi-final. And I feel as though that's something since Christmas, especially probably both in League and Champions League, that Arsenal have done really well. I think it's about realising where you are in the game and actually thinking, okay, well, if we can be compact and try and prevent Chelsea as much as we can, we know we have threats up front. And but I think from Chelsea's point of view, Lauren James was fantastic again. She is
magnificent.
She's everywhere at the moment, and I think it was kind of everything was pretty much relied on what she did. Even the chances towards the end, it was like, where's Lauren James? Get her on the ball. And I thought Nuskin was brilliant. I think
she in the box well, didn't she?
She makes great runs, and I think it does help. I think in terms of Sam Kerr being that little bit of a focal point, that number 9, it helped her make different runs, and it helped Lauren James kind of influence the game a different way. But I think at this stage in the Champions League, it's all about them kind of moments, and I just think Arsenal over 2 legs had the biggest moments.
If I'm Chelsea, I still feel a bit aggrieved. I do feel a little bit for Sonia Bonpasta, especially getting sent off last night. But I do feel a little bit sorry for them because at the end of the day, there's a couple of decisions and the luck Arsenal getting at the moment where you think, wow, this is the kind of luck that you get when you are going all the way, and you look back and you think, oh my gosh, remember that Chelsea game? They hit the post, they hit the bar, they done this, the goalie made great saves. I think that for me, over the 2 legs, Arsenal just shaded it. I really do believe that. And I think that Renee going to Chelsea, knowing that Chelsea are going to have to come, and starting those players you mentioned, offensive players, Stina and obviously Leslie and Caitlin Ford, and Olivia Smith, that's saying, okay, you're going to go for it, but you get it wrong. We're going for it as well. And, I think that's how it played out.
And that's like the threat that both teams brought. But I think it was about who was better defensively. And I think the last few games I haven't really been convinced by Chelsea from a defensive point of view. I think they've conceded really sloppy goals for their standards of what we're used to. So I think it was actually a really good tactic because she could have stuck with the same team. You could have played Chloe, you could have played Beth Mead, and I think she tried something different. And Caitlin Ford, in terms of work rate,
good.
I think she cancelled Ellie Carpenter out. I think, of course, sometimes she got past her, but I think it was more behind McCabe rather than from Caitlin's kind of errors. So I think from a game plan point of view, but I mean, referees, Ian, this is big.
Really, something, like I said, I felt for Chelsea a bit, and I felt for Sonia because she's been sent off. unfortunately. But like for referees, when people talking about they're professional and full-time, they're professional, but they are not full-time. I don't even think they're anywhere near professional for the decisions that I've seen in the first game and the decision I saw last night as well. Because whatever we say, and I look at it, Katie McCabe, because we know that pulling hair is on page 1. You do not pull hair. I think she grabbed her shirt, and obviously her hair's there as when it looks like it's been pulled. But that's all by the by. For that is something that happened where you think to yourself, well, yes, okay, you didn't pull her hair, but you've impeded her. You've pulled her shirt. It's obviously gone into her hair, and that's a sending off. For me, it's a sending off. But they didn't even get a foul.
That's the most craziest thing as well, and because
that's not acceptable. Of course, the manager's got to get sent off. She's going to go crazy. I would have went crazy. Sorry, Steph.
Ian, I'm not even joking when the whole stadium was just like, "What is going on?" Because we were on that side where it happened, and in front of where the lineswoman was, the fourth official, the 2 managers. It was like literally there, and the referee was there, and I'm like, she's off.
I thought that's what I thought. Oh my God, that she's off. That now we're in trouble.
And then the question's like, what is the point of VAR?
Because
surely that's a massive mistake to miss.
That's too much of a mistake to miss. I'm sorry. First 5 minutes, Arsenal took one of those goal kicks where, you know, I think it might have been Lotta who passed the ball. And she was saying she weren't watching. She didn't see that it was already taken.
It's actually baffles us, because I'm just like, this is. And I can understand Sonia's frustration and probably René's as well, because there were some decisions that didn't go in Arsenal's way in terms of tackles or after a tackle's been there. But I think we are at the quarterfinals of the Champions League, the best competition in Europe, with all these clubs that are trying to achieve greatness by winning this trophy. And potentially Chelsea's Champions Leagues has ended because of 2 decisions, not just this one. Maybe this one might not have had an effect on the game because it was 2 minutes to go. Would Chelsea have got another goal? It looked highly unlikely because of Van Damselaar and how good she was. But in the first game, they should have been 2-1 down at half-time. And it changes the game massively.
This is what they've got to understand. It's inexcusable to have VAR.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like she's seen it on the pitch. And even if she didn't see it, come on, man, the 4th official. You've got to see it was on your side. It wasn't like she was obscured by players or anything. Nothing obstructed her vision.
She got front row seats.
You know,
that's
and they
all
don't
I'm
give
saying.
that. And again, I'm not going to go too deep into it because that happens in football. But those things shouldn't happen in football. We know that there's the kind of decisions that you think, well, oh man, come on, that's so unlucky. This is not unlucky. This is just plain wrong.
They're more worried about whether the managers go out of the technical areas rather than actually helping the referee. And if the referees are not that capable, they need all the help that they can get. And it's not to be disrespectful or kind of looking down on them, but ultimately we need a standard of referee. And before we even introduce VAR...
You're absolutely right. But
there's no point of VAR at this moment in time unless we're getting more obvious decisions on the pitch.
You know what? I saw Lucy. Did you see Lucy Bronze's interview afterwards? You obviously would have. You didn't see that?
I seen about her being there. Chelsea saying she was the better team.
They're saying the better team, but like what she made the point of the chances. You know, because you look at that. Like obviously the first game, you see Leslie's finish, that one with a touch and the finish. Alicia Thompson had the same kind of chance, and I was speaking to someone about it, and I thought her finishing is quite wayward. You know, she, in that moment, like you look at Leslie, and it was textbook in the way she struck that. It had to be struck with the laces from where she was because you have to hit it straight. What you saw with Alicia's strike last night, the first one, she came onto it and she hit it with the instep. That's why it bent away from the post. And I think that when you're buying a player of that caliber to come in to try and help a Sam Kerr that's getting to that stage of her career where she's not, I don't think she's nowhere near fully over that injury. Players like Alicia Thompson, she has to show up. Those chances can't be missed at that stage of the Champions League. And that is what I saw yesterday. That's what I took from it from her point of view. Fantastic player, very quick, dangerous. But now I think that what she's got to do is, like, I remember I played with a guy called Mark Overmars. So quick. And I remember speaking to him about his finishing because he's a brilliant finisher. And he said he had to learn how to slow himself down first because he gets to these places so quickly, no one can tackle him. So he actually has time to relax and then start thinking about what finish she's going to do. And that's where I think Alicia Thompson is. She needs to be practicing the finishing aspects of when she gets past people because she's got so much pace. And I think that showed last night that, the way she struck those, especially the second one, went way over the bar. She's cutting brilliantly, and that is composed. You have to compose yourself, go calm because you want to hit the target. And it's gone over the bar, not even the goalkeeper saved it. So that's what Chelsea have to look at, those kind of mistakes and ruin those mistakes, because those are the differences that win you matches. Those are the things that gets you to finals, when your top player turns up, or your top players turn up and deliver in the moment.
With Alyssa Thompson, I thought she was really good, actually. I think in terms of just getting in the box, linking up, I think there was a fantastic bit of play where I think she linked up with 2 or 3, like Lauren James, I think Sam Kerr, it was 1-2s, and Arsenal couldn't really kind of get themselves set to like kind of stop her getting into the box. But I think that is probably what Chelsea lacked, was that little bit of just calmness and composure, because Nuskin had one in the first 10 minutes where Ellie Carpenter pulled it back, and all she needed to do, she probably had time to take a touch, but she tried to side foot and she just didn't get the right contact. But I think Chelsea would be disappointed, because I think in terms of chances, they probably maybe edged Arsenal on chances, but ultimately I think Arsenal just showed that little bit of kind of experience and nous that you need at this level. Probably more in the first leg. I think Arsenal did the job in the first leg, without a doubt. I think to have that 2-goal cushion going to Stamford Bridge, from mentality point of view, it was, I think it was hard for Chelsea to come back. But this Chelsea team, I looked at it as if I just didn't know how they were going to score. And normally it's a bit weird to say that from a Chelsea point of view, because they've been so good over so many years. And the only way they looked as though they were going to score was through Lauren James. And to be honest, Arsenal still couldn't stop her last night. And it was kind of like she was just taking on the whole team and doing what she does. But I think it comes to the point where it's like, it's not really a routine. It's not really a structure. So other players don't know where to go.
I think you look at this Chelsea side, and if you really boil it down in how they're playing and how it's going for them this season, it would have been very difficult for me to go on and win the Champions League in their current form and the current, I don't know, state of mind that they seem to be in. I don't think their team's as dominant as the teams that we've seen in the past that have failed as well to try and win it. So I think that Sonia signing a 5-year deal, I'm looking to see big things at Chelsea, because at the moment I think Arsenal feel like they've kind of got their number a bit. I think City with their emergence, I think City feel like Chelsea, fine, come, we're ready. And I think if Man United get themselves going, and we'll talk about them in a minute, if they'll start to challenge Chelsea as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, because, like I say, that team last night and the way that Arsenal were able to manage it, they've got some work to do.
Yeah, you can see it's going to be a little bit of a period where it's going to be a bit of change at Chelsea. You can see that they're kind of building their team around the likes of Thompson. You look at Nuskin, you look at Berman, and that is the future of Chelsea. And if Hannah Hampton stays, I think that's a pretty good spine. I think for me, number 9's a problem until they get Ramirez back, because I think Sam Kerr was, even though she played all right last night, I think she's struggling. You can tell she's hobbling a little bit and she's not really running properly. But for Arsenal, I don't want to take anything away from you guys, because I think overall, I was really, really impressed in just the way that they played over 2 legs, 2 different sides of Arsenal. And not to put any pressure on, but I think for me, I think you can beat Wolfsburg or Lyon, whoever it might be tonight, that go through. There's no reason why not.
They should be believing that as well. Especially how they won it last season. No one saw them coming. Really, everybody is expecting it to be Barcelona and Lyon or whoever it's going to be. But Arsenal got there and they won it. And I think this time they recognise who they are and where they are. They'll look at that semi-final tonight. That quarter-final tonight, and they'll believe we could.